Hello, and we start with the cost of living crisis in the UK today, which is causing a rise in shoplifting as families struggle to make ends meet. Well, one in 10, younger adults have admitted stealing items at supermarket checkouts over the last year as food prices soared. Well, the research by money-saving app Zip Zero found that younger adults are suffering disproportionately, with 37% seeking financial support compared with 5% of those over 55. Well, overall, the cost of living increased sharply across the UK between 2021 and 2022. According to Zip Zero, 1 in 10 young adults, so that's a tenth of young adults, have admitted to stealing items from supermarket checkouts, and this is to cope with the cost of living crisis. Well, the situation is dire in the UK, with a tenth of adults, as I say, admitting to stealing now, and that's really to survive and to cope with the situation. Essentials we're talking about here, like the children's medication Calpol, are among the most commonly stolen items in the UK. Well, products like milk and cheese are increasingly being tagged with security codes. Well, according to media reports based on the latest data, shoplifting in England and Wales increased by 22% last year through to September. The number of cases of shoplifting jumped to 7.9 million last year. Well, that's about 5 million more than the number of cases between 2016 and 2017. A 2022 study found that shoplifting cost the British economy £660 million from the year 2021 to 2022. Food and fuel prices have remained extremely high. Inflation has persisted in the double digits for months, with the most recent figure a punishing 10.4%. Well, just to put that into context, the central bank's target is to keep inflation around 2% to tackle soaring price pressures. The Bank of England is set to hike rates for the 12th straight time. All eyes will be on the UK's central bank to understand what the future rate path looks like. Well, for more on this, delighted to be joined by Hilary Ingham, the UK economist at the Lancaster University. Thank you for joining us live here on WION. So it is a pretty dire situation, and it's sad to think that a lot of people, they're working very long hours, but they're still having to choose between eating and heating.
Yes, we've been hit very badly in the UK. Of course, a lot of countries have faced pressure, with rising fuel prices and also food prices, mainly because of the war in Ukraine. But inflation does seem to be persisting at a higher level longer here in the UK. We don't seem to be very successful in bringing it down at the minute.
Why is that? What's the main problem? We know energy prices are putting a lot of pressure on people.
Energy prices are putting a lot of pressure everywhere. I think we're also suffering, some of the fallout really from Brexit as well in terms of these high prices. So I think there's you have to look at what factors are making us unique, because a lot of Europe is suffering from these high energy prices as well. But also we've got labour shortages here as well. So labour shortages are pushing wages up. Pushing wages up will eventually put prices up. And, we've got great shortages, particularly, say, in the hospitality sector with restaurants. Some restaurants aren't even opening, 5 days a week for lunch and dinner. Some are restricting it to dinner service only, simply because they can't get the staff at a rate they can afford to pay.
It's really interesting you bring that up, because you mentioned Brexit as well. And of course, this is all... It's all related, isn't it, when we talk about labour shortages, especially you said in the likes of the hospitality industry, because we had many Europeans here that have left. Do you think Brexit is a big problem for the UK now?
I think it's causing problems in the labour market. We did have a lot of European workers in the UK. We've talked about the hospitality sector, but also if you look to the social care sector, we had a lot of European workers there as well. So we've got a very, very tight labour market. And it is the case that Brexit has contributed to that. There is no doubt.
OK, Hilary, thank you so much. Really interesting. A UK economist at Lancaster University. It's Hilary Ingham. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Bye.